once was a man named Gold Roger, who was king of the pirates. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
My fortune is yours for the taking, but you'll have to find it first. I left everything I own in one piece.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for One Piece, the treasure that would make their dreams come true.
All right, well, welcome to the Random Onion, and today we are going to talk about the One Piece live action series that we both got to watch over the weekend.
Yo!
Don't give it up, Luffy. Don't give it up, Solo. Don't give it up, Nami. Don't give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up.
And I've got my Dragon Ball shirt for that.
Yeah. So, going into this series, I didn't know anything about One Piece at all.
No.
I never read the manga, never saw the anime. All I knew was that Luffy was very stretchy.
Well, you keep calling him Luffy. It's Luffy.
Luffy, yeah. I think I called him Luffy in the last video, too.
You did.
Luffy, Buffy.
Luffy the Vampire Slayer.
But yeah, no, I didn't know anything about it, and I thought it was decent. Dare I even say it was good?
Yeah.
I made it through the whole series in one night, so that's a plus.
My thing with One Piece is kind of strange because I've watched a big chunk of the anime up until Thriller Bark, and then I switched to the manga, and at this point I'm getting into Punk Hazard. Now, I only started this, I'm a slow reader, so I started reading One Piece, or going through this One Piece thing like 2.5, 3 years ago, and it's just taken me a long time to get through it. It's hard being an adult, you know?
It really is.
Other than that, I've watched, there's a lot of YouTubers that I watch that cover what's been happening in the most recent chapters, so I have a decent idea of what's going on in the modern stuff, as well as I'm going through it from behind.
Okay.
But obviously, I've known for all of the arcs that they cover in the live action, I'm pretty well versed in all of them. And for the most part, I actually think they did a pretty good job. It's a little wonky in a few places. I think they made some changes that I personally don't agree with them making, but they managed to pull it off at least in an okay way.
Yeah, like I said, I thought the show was decent. There were a few things, honestly, that I didn't like. The main thing that I didn't like was the butler arc.
Captain, it's Clawhador is his butler name, which is a weird name. And then you've got his actual name is Captain Kuro.
Yeah, no, all the bad guys in that whole section just...
It's funny because I actually liked them in that section. But like I said, it's because in that situation, I had the backup of knowing what happens in the actual Syrup Village arc.
Yeah,
so...
with me, it was just like, oh, cat people.
Yes. Yeah, it's very strange if you haven't, like, the first, even when I was watching, because I went through the entire series in one sitting as well, because I was sick, so I sat at home and laid in bed and watched the whole series. But when it got to that episode and there was they just suddenly started hissing out of nowhere, I was like, I knew that they were cat-themed pirates. But...
Oh my gosh. I remember watching that. Dude, he was like, or I think it was the girl who hissed at someone. I was like, did they just hit?
It's all cat-themed.
That whole episode, though, it's like, I'm glad I stuck through it because I almost turned it off during that episode. I did not like those episodes at all.
Yeah, I was also... I was surprised that was the first episode that they took 2 episodes to go through the arcs. Yeah. Because starting off the first arc is called Romance Dawn, and I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm pretty sure Romance Dawn covers Luffy's backstory and then when they go to the Marine Island, which is very different. It's a little bit different in the manga and the anime versus the show. Yeah. Because both the anime and the live action chose to show Luffy's backstory as a flashback, but I'm fairly certain in the manga it just shows the backstory of Luffy first. That's the first bit, and then it jumps into him being in the barrel in the ocean. Because it's in the anime, he gets when he's in the barrel. He doesn't have a boat. I actually know he might have had a boat. I can't remember specifically, but I remember him. He jumps in the barrel and he doesn't just float in the ocean, he gets sucked into a whirlpool. It's his first day.
And he's probably super positive about it too. And
he is.
That's one of the interesting things, though, is because I like just about all the characters except the cat people. All the characters in this are they're very likable. They're very entertaining. Everyone, it's well acted. I mean, you can tell that this is an adaptation of an anime because they are so overly, you know how in animes they always shout their intentions and everything.
Yeah.
It is very very anime-esque.
That's Luffy for you. Luffy is the type of character that he knows what he wants.
Yeah.
And he doesn't care. He speaks his mind.
Now, the guy who played Luffy did a very good job.
Yes.
Also, my favorite characters are the grandpa.
Oh, Garp?
Yeah. The grandpa and the dude with a massive sword, Mihawk.
Yeah, Draco Mihawk.
What the hell is that? I'm here for a sword fight.
I don't hunt rabbits with a cannon.
Yeah.
That's good, because Garp is a major character. It's interesting, though, because he's introduced fairly early in the anime and manga. He takes a long time to actually show up in front of Luffy, because in this show, obviously, it happened in East Blue, but in that, it happens way down the line before you ever find out that Garp is actually Luffy's grandpa. You kind of follow him because Garp is training Kobe and Helmeppo throughout the series in the background. But he then shows up randomly at the end. At the end of this major arc that happens, it's there's this little tiny arc that they threw in where Garp just shows up, and it's a really cool shot. I'll probably put it up on screen here because in the anime it's really cool because Garp leaps through the crew because there's more members of the crew at the time. He just leaps through the crew, flies through the room, and punches Luffy in the head, directly in his head, and launches him into the ground. Garp in the original material is he's very brutal, but also you can tell he absolutely adores his grandson.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of tell in the Netflix, especially whenever he's coming after him. Every time Luffy gets away, he just starts laughing.
Yeah, there's a reason why Luffy is the way he is, and it's because he was raised by his grandfather. Well. There's more to it. There's a lot more to Luffy's backstory.
Well, it's funny because Luffy's always hungry, and then it shows that flashback with him and his grandfather, and his grandfather was like, "We're gonna get this out of you. I'm gonna teach you how to be a good Marine, but first we're gonna have a snack."
Yes, and Luffy and Garp's favorite food is meat. Just meat, not any particular kind. Just meat.
I am surprised that I enjoyed it. I really did. If I were to rate it on a scale, those of you who watch our channel, we do the whole rating system. This is just kind of a initial thoughts review. I'd give it a B-, I think.
B-?
Yeah. Just because, I enjoyed it. I laughed a lot. There are a lot of things that I didn't like too, like the butler.
Clador.
That and the prosthetics for the fish people at the end kind of threw me off a little bit.
Yeah, that was particularly
that could have benefited from a mix of CGI and prosthetics. I think it would look a lot better if they mixed the two. But
yeah, they only added the CGI elements when they're doing something fantastical.
Yeah,
but for the most part, when they're just on screen, they kind of look like really good cosplayers.
Yes,
but
they look real rubber.
Yeah. But that's the problem, is they look like cosplayers and not like the actual fishmen.
Even with some of the CGI, though, some of the CGI was kind of bad in some areas.
Yeah, it was. Luffy's stretching never really looked quite right to me.
Yeah,
it was okay. It was passable, but not really it didn't make my jaw drop.
For me, is some of the shots where we get some of those wide shots with a lot of the boats floating when there's supposed to be a bunch of pirate boats. You can tell it's CGI, and it's not bad CGI, but if you notice it's CGI, you're gonna lose points.
Yeah,
with me. But other than that, it's a great show. I'd recommend to watch it.
Yeah. I would recommend watching it too, even as someone who likes One Piece quite a lot. As someone who likes One Piece, and for people who don't like One Piece, I would recommend watching it.
Yeah.
Just for the fun of it.
Yeah, well, gets a thumbs up from me.
Yeah. Thumbs up. Would recommend.
No, that's about it for One Piece.
Mm-hmm. At least for our initial thoughts review, I could probably go on for about another 2 hours about One Piece.
Yeah, whenever we get to where we're actually reviewing the series, we'll go through that.
If you found this at all enjoyable, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. And the random Manga. Also check out our feed finder.
His name is Luffy. That's Monkey D. Luffy. King of the pirates. He's made of rubber.
Yo ho ho, he took a bite of gum gum.